It was for me. A lot of things went into it. One, the success of this program. Two, I'm a West Coast kid growing up in California. Coming back home was a clear choice. And then, I built a pretty strong relationship last year with Jimmy Lake. All those things combined allowed to an easy decision. And just super excited to be here, super grateful for the opportunity, and excited to get rolling.
Having played under Jimmy and Raheem, I'm guessing you're going to be able to slip right into this defense. Is it very similar or somewhat different?
Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be differences for sure. Everybody's got their own flavor, but I am excited to have some familiarity with the defense. Knowing kind of how we want to attack offenses, some of the scheme stuff, some of the verbiage. So I think that will make a easy transition for me. Coming from a similar scheme and having someone like Jimmy Lake that I have a relationship with.
Thanks very much.
Wyatt?
And Nate, congrats on the signing.
Thank you.
I know that you've worn the Zimbabwe flag on your uniform in the past, and so what's significant about that for you to do that, and is that something that you hope to continue?
Yeah, I definitely hope to continue that. That is a huge part of my story, my family's story, moving here from Zimbabwe back in 2001, and to represent my family that's still over there, and the country that I was born. Means a lot to me, like a lot of the guys that represent their countries. So definitely excited to do that in the future, and hopefully I can continue to do that as I keep playing.
And heard a lot about Sean McVay, the recruiter. I was wondering, what your conversations with him were like, and just your level of excitement to get to play under him.
Yeah, I've had brief convo with Coach, and his reputation is awesome. You could tell he really relates to his guys, and he gets the best out of his guys, and super excited just for him to give me this opportunity, and I could tell that they're excited too, and I think it's gonna be a special year with the pieces they're adding, and just with a winning coach like that and the success that he's had, it's exciting for a free agent player to come in under that sort of leadership.
Thank you.
Adam?
Hey Nate, congratulations. I've read about how deep rugby runs in your family. I'm curious how your exposure to the sport and playing it yourself kind of informs you as a football player.
Yeah, I think it creates a different instinct that some guys might not have. Especially with tackling and the form of tackling. Having my dad who played professional, having him coach me throughout when I was a kid, throughout high school, and even the tips and stuff along the way through college and the pros. I think it's given me an edge among some people, and like I said, a different instinct, a different perspective. So playing rugby and having that experience, I think impacts my game super positively and helps my skill set as a middle linebacker, especially.
How does it inform the tackling form?
I think now the game's kind of moved on from keeping your head out of it and wrap and roll, and those are the kind of fundamentals they teach in rugby. When you're growing up and starting it, because obviously you're playing without pads. So I think just that translates to football really well, especially in the open field, or on an outside zone or different schemes like that.
Well, thank you, Nate.
Jordan?
Hey, Nate, welcome to Los Angeles. Just kind of wondering your journey to football, from growing up in Zimbabwe and moving, when you were young. But what was your journey to football like?
So when we first started, when we first moved to the States, we landed in California, and rugby wasn't that prevalent, so football was kind of the main thing that was similar. My two older brothers started playing, and then I joined when I was 7 in a Pop Warner League, and just continue to love it and grow in that sport, which was pretty big in Northern California where I grew up. And so, that's where I made all my friends. It's where it's kind of where my true personality came out, because I'm a pretty calm guy outside of football, but when I step in between those two lines, your attitude kind of changes. So it was just kind of the perfect fit sport for me, and just had success with it as a kid, and then in high school, and the love for the game has just continued to grow each year and continues to.
What can you tell Rams fans who have sort of started dabbling in your tape a little bit? The tackling is very evident all over the tape, but what else can you tell Rams fans about your game? What skill sets that you prioritize, and particularly as you specialize in that position?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, leadership qualities. I'm a super vocal guy when it comes to on the field, and super passionate about this game. I love this game. And football is a violent sport, and I love the physicality of it, especially as a middle linebacker. That's, you got to set the tone. So, I think my best attributes are, physicality and leadership, and I'm excited to bring that and to this defense and to this team, and to, help us win games ultimately.
And then you'll be playing with Omar Spates, who ascended, into a starting role last year. Have you talked with him at all? Have you kind of started making those connections as someone who will kind of be your partner out there?
Yeah, I've not talked to him yet, but I do know Omar because he played at Oregon State. So I'm familiar with his game, and I've seen what he did, and for him to come into that role last year, it's kind of similar to what I had to step into. So I know exactly what he went through. So super excited for him and his opportunity, and excited to meet him, and start growing that chemistry with him as we look to OTAs and training camp.
Thank you very much.
And then we'll wrap with Stu.
Hey Nate, I know you mentioned growing up in Northern California, but did you have any experiences with Los Angeles growing up? And if so, what do you remember about those?
We did not come down here that much, so I don't have much experience with LA's. I do have, a lot of my friends from high school moved down here, taking jobs down here, so I'm excited to, be back on the West Coast and, see those guys. And it's kind of like a homecoming. My parents are a short flight away. All my siblings live either in California or Nevada, so it's a cool opportunity for me and my family, to spend more time together and kind of enjoy this new chapter.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it, and congrats again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, that's all. Thanks, Nate.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Hey, Ahkello.
Hey.
Welcome back.
Appreciate it.
Good to see you. How does it feel to get this done? Be back.
I don't see you, but it's nice to hear your voice. It feels great though to be back. I'm just excited for the opportunity. Looking forward to continuing joining this journey with some of the relationships and the teammates, coaches that I built last year, as well as just having an opportunity to represent my family in a good light and just compete for a championship.
In 23, you got it done with the Rams in June.
Mm-hmm.
Before training camp. Last year it went into the season.
Yeah.
How is it better for you? I think it's obvious, but how do you feel about having this done? Going into off-season workouts.
Yeah, just a chance to be my best, and that's all I'm looking forward to this year. It's just a time to focus on my craft and fine-tune some of the things that I can improve on, with the opportunity to be the best that I can be for my teammates, and that's my focus.
And then finally, for me, at least right now, the group same group coming back.
Yeah.
That played last season.
Yeah.
What kind of advantage, if any, do you think that gives you guys kind of going into this season?
I think just our ability to communicate, the time we spend together off the field, and just continuing to grow and not really have to recreate those relationships, and just feeding off of each other and reaping the benefits when it comes out on Sunday.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Stu?
Hey, Ahkello, welcome back and congratulations.
Appreciate you.
what is it exactly about, this coaching staff, these teammates, this place that allows you feel like to play your best football?
I think it comes from leadership first. McVay sets the tone with just how he carries himself in the building and just giving everybody the latitude to be themselves as well. And then our coaching staff and our players are just extremely connected. We have fun doing what we do. When adversity hits, we smile in it, and that shows up on game day as well. It's the same pattern. Everybody's having fun. Everybody's prepared to have something challenging happen, and how you're going to respond. And when we do, we get to celebrate victories. And it's just the collection of all those things make it very seamless for me.
And then in terms of working with, Coach Pleasant specifically, how has that relationship really benefited you in your time here?
Yeah, same thing. Just a quality dude. We get along well off the field, and we get to business when it comes time to get on that grass. And we both have a mutual understanding of how serious and how important improvement is, and just daily commitment to the craft. And we work well with each other in that space.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep.
Adam?
Hey, Ahkello, welcome back. Just to kind of bounce off of Gary's question, with coming in after the off-season program and even after training camp last year, like what areas did you kind of feel like you were catching up on and then kind of able to hit your stride as the season went on?
Yeah, just to keep it easy, I would just say my rhythm and just natural feel. I think technique is always something that you're focusing on. But in terms of seeing the game and feeling the game, I think that it takes time. And that's a journey that I took during the season, unfortunately, last year. And I'm just excited to be able to kind of get out some of those knots during the off season and hit the ground running come week 1.
We saw you doing pre-practice work with AP, trying to get back some of that rhythm during the year.
Yeah.
Being able to focus a little bit more on what, by getting some of that stuff out of the way earlier in the year, what does that kind of allow you to focus on more in season?
Well, I mean, we're going to find out together. That's the truth. Once I get to that point, I'm going to take it step by step and grow this off season. And in those areas that I do find and improve upon, that's the results I'm looking to see come game day.
Cool. Thanks, Ahkello.
Jordan?
Hey, Ahkello, welcome back. Congratulations.
I appreciate you.
Just wondering, when the Rams signed Devontae Adams and you kind of look ahead to OTAs and then to training camp especially, what is the process like for a corner of your experience level to go to workshop with and against a receiver of his experience level? I guess if you could take us inside from the dialogue to what you want to make sure you guys get to on the field.
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's the first moment where I get overly excited, where I'm not really inside of myself when I see them sign a guy like Devontae Adams, because that's the joy and the passion for me, is being able to compete against somebody like that on a daily basis and take that training to go to play on game day and it be much calmer, much simpler, because I've had elite reps against guys like Devontae and Puka, Coop when he was here. But those are the moments that I love, and just being excited of a space that's improving and trying to take the next steps and wanting to be a part of it.
When you look at what this team has done, not just this offseason, but I think the external narrative has been they've exceeded expectations for a couple of seasons relative to sort of that sprint rebuild of the roster and the draft class developing. What do you see this team as capable of this year, having come so close? And I guess, do any of the moves that they've made so far, and re-signing yourself included, sort of signal anything to the outside world about what you guys believe you're capable of?
Yeah, I think obviously the goal is Super Bowl without blowing smoke. That's our focus. And then second is just improving off what we did last year in whatever little ways we can. We saw how far it got us, but that doesn't promise improvement the next year. So that's our idea, is just to keep getting better individually, keep growing as a team, which I think we've done, and adding the pieces that we need to be overall a better football team than we were the last calendar year.
Thanks, Kelly.
Yep.
And then we'll wrap it with Wyatt.
Hey, Ahkello, welcome back.
Appreciate it.
I know that you and Nate Landman, just missed each other at Colorado, but were you able to be around him at all, either as a recruit or with you as an alumni?
No.
And what do you think someone like him brings to the defense, just in your observations, than him in the pros?
Yeah, I don't have any experience with him when I was there, but from what I've seen, a hard-nosed player, and looking forward to getting to know him and competing with him.
And as a veteran in a defense that's just kind of developing and is getting older, what responsibility do you feel to kind of nurture some of the talent and the younger players on that team?
Man, I think just being myself, where that responsibility lies, I think will be organic with each individual. I have healthy relationships with all of my teammates on defense, offense, and just like I've said, just looking forward to building and being better and taking those to the next level as well this year.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you.